Hey, good morning. This is LaGuardia Acting Studio trying to answer a question that we receive all the time. And that is, what is the difference between a manager and an agent? And which should I try to get? So I'm going to try to just break down the difference between the two in the most simple terms. For one, when they say, well, which should I get, a manager or an agent? I tell people, in this business, if you can find either, willing to submit you and get you auditions and get you in to meet casting directors, that's who you go with. As long as they're good, as long as they're legitimate. So let's start with the legitimacy of representation. They do not make money unless you make money, okay? And an agent, a legitimate agent, gets 10% of what you earn. Now, managers, they're not regulated by the same rules. Managers can take 10%, managers can take 15%. 15 is really the norm. Managers can take 20%, managers can take 25%. They're not regulated. I believe that when an agent takes 10, most managers take 10 or 15, and that's normal. Okay, but if you have both, that means 25% of your paycheck is gone. But more importantly, you have to remember that neither one gets anything unless you book a job. Okay? So if a manager or an agent's saying, well, we require this, we require that, a yearly fee of this, an online fee of that, it's BS. Don't listen to that, okay? They don't take anything unless you book a job. Okay, so agents have two functions. Agents find you auditions. Agents negotiate your pay. Okay? That's really what the agent's job is. And to give you the information about the audition, to give you the information about the callback. Once you book the job, they're the ones who give you the information about where it's going to be, what it's going to pay, how long it's going to take, what they need from you, etc. Okay? Can you call an agent with questions about your headshots? Yes. Can you call an agent you're working with, not an agent you're not working with? Can you call an agent regarding questions about your look? Yes. And some are receptive to that, some are not. Okay, some don't want to be bothered with those things. So their main job is to get out there and find you auditions. Now, managers, so here's the thing with managers. There's what managers technically are, and there's what managers actually do. Because technically, only agents are supposed to find you auditions and negotiate your booking. Managers are not. Okay? Technically, managers are not supposed to be getting you auditions. Managers are not supposed to be negotiating your contracts. However, in today's world, I would say almost all managers submit their clients, and most managers get their clients auditions. They really act as an agent. Okay? So then people say, well, do I need both? Sometimes, and the bigger you get, I think having a team, an agent and a manager, it's very advantageous, although many don't get along. Many agents don't like managers, many managers don't like agents, just FYI. Okay, so what's the manager's job then? So managers are not supposed to, but do find you auditions, okay? And if you don't have an agent, there's been times that I've had no agent but just a manager, and they got me auditions. They when I booked a job, they negotiated the salary and so forth. So their real job is to manage your career. Meaning, if you don't have an agent, they're supposed to set up the meetings for you to get an agent. Okay? If you have an agent that's not doing much for you, it's the manager's job to contact the agent and say, hey, what's going on? Why isn't my client going out? The agent is the one who should help you pick out your headshots. I'm sorry, the manager is the one that should help you. If you need to find a headshot photographer, they'll help you with that. If you get your headshots done and you need someone to help you choose, the manager's job is that. If you're deciding between New York and LA, the manager's job is that. If you book a film and a TV show and you need to choose one, it's the manager's job. Okay? If you're not working, it's the manager's job to go through the steps of, do you need classes? Is something else wrong? Do you understand? If you haven't been going out on auditions and you call your agent to say, hey, what's going on? It's a problem for them. They don't like it. The manager is the one you're supposed to be able to call. You should be able to call a manager for any problem that you have, acting-wise. The manager is managing you and your career. It's a talent agent and a personal manager. So they're managing you. So there's been times that I'm like, oh, I have a question for my agent, but I don't want to bother them. That should not be the case with a manager. You should be able to call your manager. And if you call your manager and they're annoyed that you're calling them, you have the wrong manager. Okay? I know one manager who tries to contact her clients every day just to stay in touch, you understand? So they're there to manage your career. Now, here's the technical way it works. If you get an audition, the agent is supposed to call the manager. The manager this is if you have both. The manager then calls you and says, hey, you have the audition. You say okay to the manager calls the agent. It seems like that's a lot of work, but that's the process when you have both. Okay? Another difference is if you're a type, let's say you're 22, female, blonde hair, your agent may have 5, 10 of you. The manager should really only have 1 of you, but most 2, and there still has to be differences. The agency will always have a lot more clients than the manager. Okay? Now, barring 1 or 2 that I know of that are actually good, the managers that have a lot of clients, like in the hundreds, no. They're like a mock talent agency. Your manager should not have hundreds of clients. That's too many people to take care of. Okay? The manager's clientele list is shorter. Their roster is smaller, so they can give individual attention to everybody, and they have what they need. I have my male in his 40s. I have my male in his 30s. I have my male in his 20s. I have my blue collar guy. I have my model guy. They have specific types, and they put their time and investment into those types. As where an agent can have numerous, because they've got to submit as many people as possible to get you in. Okay? Now, sometimes you're great when an agent meets you, but they already have too many of you. Same with the manager, but managers usually have less. So ultimately, you need an agent. Okay, ultimately, it's the agent that's going to get you the auditions, get you the jobs. And as you get bigger and get to bigger agencies, they put deals together. They work with numerous clients at once. So ultimately, you do need an agent. Having said that, if you cannot get an agent and you have a manager interested in you, I think that's wonderful too. All right? But the end goal would be to have both. When you start working consistently, which I hope you do, you're going to need a manager to help manage your career as it's moving forward. Okay? The agent will do the technical stuff of the auditions and the bookings and the money, and the manager will oversee you and everything else. Okay? And when an actor has a problem on set, the manager is the one you should call first. You can call your agent, but the manager is the one that's supposed to be there for you. The manager is the one that's supposed to come out to Los Angeles if you're working out there. If you need someone helping you, the manager can come out and do that if applicable. Agent's not going to really do that. And I know this from experience. I know this from being lucky enough to have managers that were very hands-on, that helped me through everything. And then I've also dealt with managers that were nothing more than like, hey, you have an audition, and everything in between. And you start to really understand the manager actually is managing me and my career. As where the agent's job is finding me the auditions, finding me the work. Okay? So I hope that was helpful. And let's get out there and book some jobs.